I don't know if you have ever experienced looking at photos of yourself just last year, or just 6 months ago, and then you get sad. Like, we are not talking a decade has progressed, so of course you're going to change. We're talking months or 1 year, just 2. And yet, how you looked in those 2 years ago was so much better before you ended up with somebody. It happened with me with this guy from the US that I was with very briefly. How much he messed me up, caused me to stop working out for a year consistently. All right. And when then I went and looked at my images in my videos of how I used to look just 2 years ago, just a year ago, just 1 year ago, my heart was so broken. My heart was so broken because I was agile, I was fit, I was thin, I was slender, you know. I was not gaining weight no matter how much I was eating. My metabolism had been built to a certain level, and so my body was just doing all the work for me. My skin was clear. This acne, I to this day, I still don't understand what's going on. Okay, my skin was clear, and I dated a guy for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It was not even that long. What he did to me in that small time lingered for an entire year thereafter. He messed up so much, and also with all of his witchcraft, all the stuff that he was doing, that I let myself go to a point where a few weeks back, when I was looking at my images of just 1 year prior to that date, I was bleeding inside. I was crying in my heart, because how did I let myself go like that? How did I allow myself to walk away from the gym for a whole year? How is my skin looking like this? Even my skin right now, I don't want to look at my videos from just 6 months ago. I don't want to look at my videos from when I had cleared my acne, because all of this that's happening on my face is as a result of what is happening to me spiritually. The attacks, the abuse, it's caused so much stress in my body that I can't help but break out into acne, and I am actively trying to fix it, but it's making me very sad, because there was a time when my skin was like absolutely perfectly like a baby's bottom. My skin was completely clear, and I got to a point where I was freaking out, ending up, do you understand what I'm saying? My hair, see, I've detangled, but now I've got like one last batch left, and I'm so tired at this point. I just want to finish this conversation and not have to deal with my hair. It got to a point, guys, where I was like, one day, if I don't get up and get my act together, during the time when I was sitting around doing nothing, okay, and I wasn't exercising and I was just sitting here talking, I was like, the day's gonna arrive when I wake up and I look in the mirror and I'm gonna start seeing wrinkles. I am going to start seeing gray hair. I am going to start seeing things that are not supposed to come, not on me, not yet. Not based on my genetics, and not based as well on the fact that where in the world, what do I have to show for wrinkles? What do I have to show for, what do you call this? For gray hair? I don't have children. I don't have a husband. I've never been married. I've never ever chung. It's the next. I have yet to start, and if I were to pop a gray hair, I would cry. Because my first gray hair was supposed to pop when my kids were turning teenagers. My first gray hair was supposed to pop when my husband and I were celebrating a 10-year wedding anniversary. My first gray hair was supposed to pop when I am busy cutting a ribbon for and celebrating with like virgin bubbly, a silver or a gold plaque, let's say gold plaque, for 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Not, look at this beautiful hair. Look at this gorgeous hair. I was supposed to get that silver hair at that particular milestone. So if I were to see one little silver hair on my head right now, I would cry for days. If I were to see a single wrinkle on my face, I would cry. Because I have nothing to show for wrinkles. Everybody else gets to have them because you have something to show for them. Not me. And that's one thing that I have begged God for. Please don't let me cry. If I never get children, if indeed the rapture's gonna happen before I have children or get married, if I am going to be blessed with everything I need in the millennial reign, please at least give me this one gift. I am begging you. Never let me see that I am a spinster when I look in the mirror. Never let me see that I am a woman that's never been married, never had children. Because when you are 24, nobody talks of you as a woman that's never had children or never been married, because you still could. Do you understand what I'm saying? But when you are 50 or when you are 45, maybe even when you are 40, people can thoroughly say of you, I've never been married, never have children. I was like, Lord, while that might be true of me, let it never get to a point. This is one thing that I'm asking you, where I look like a woman that's never had children. Let people never ever get to a conclusion when they see me without knowing my age. And they ask me, do you have any kids? And then I say no. Let them never ever be like, oh, so what, you never wanted to have kids? Let them never ever think to ask that question next, because I still look so young that I could have them. Let it never get there. Allow no one to ever be concerned as to why I don't have children yet, because I look so young that, of course, I don't have children yet. And so far, that's been okay. So far, that has been a comfort to me. I don't want to be walking around with gray hairs and have no kids and be called a spinster and have no husband, no nothing. Can I just look like some woman in her 20s that has yet to meet the love of her life? And it is highly likely that he will rock up one of these days. Even if he never does, let it never happen. And having prayed that prayer to the Lord, there are evidences that that prayer has been answered. There are evidences that that prayer has been heard. And my uncomfortable mother has made that observation that I might not have children and I might have what appears to be reached my sell-by date. I will at this point never get married and I will at this point never have children. But I look like I might get them anyway. It looked like I might get married anyway. It looks like I might get there. So you're still trying to get a woman that is already sorrowful that she doesn't have children and has never been married to now also look in the mirror and see a spinster that's never been married. My mother has ignored my acne issue so that if I am not cracking wrinkles, at least let my beauty fade because of so much acne that I have lost my sightliness, that I have lost my beauty. She has watched it happen, and as you guys, the insanity of my mother, I keep wagging my head like this whenever I think about it, especially when I look at my face and I see all this acne. A lot of times I'm just like, she let my face get here, and I'm like, how could you? It is that shocking and that surprising because it's a moral turpitude from here to Timbuktu. Indeed, that's exactly what it is. It's a violent moral turpitude. It is a violent moral turpitude, and it is worthy of wagging one's head over. And yet the world at present is not even making the right observation or reaching an inference that it is a moral degradation of monumental proportions. And I am trying to warn women to not get there, to not get to a point of so much jealousy because you've allowed yourself to be destroyed by a bad man, that you will watch your daughter get cystic acne. And even though it is in your power to pay for her to go and see a dermatologist, because you are competing, because you are jealous of your own child, you will then refuse to take her to a dermatologist so that by the time she gets out of her teenage years, she has got such a bad scar condition on her face that she will never ever be as beautiful as she could be. No matter how much she gets laser resurfacing, no matter how much she gets chemical peels, no matter how much she gets, because like there are certain kinds of acne conditions that are so bad that you will be permanently scarred for life. You will always have that pitted scarring. You will always have it. And it can be avoided. It can be eradicated. You can avoid a teenager from ending up an adult with holes in her face now that she doesn't have acne anymore. And if it is in your power to take that kid to a dermatologist, you better take them as soon as they pop their first acne. So they will go on Roaccutane, so they will go on benzoyl peroxide, so they will go on tretinoin, retinol, whatever they need to be put on to minimize the potential damage on my face. Not my face, their face, the kid's face, right? When you are a parent that refuses to do that for your child, there's something disgusting inside you. You cannot envy your teenage child to a point where you refuse to let her stay. Like, you cannot get there. And women, I am warning you, if you allow yourselves to just rush into marriage with just about anything, or to have children by men who just because you're broody, the day's gonna arrive when you so envy your own daughter that you will claim you don't have money to take her to a dermatologist, when dermatology might be expensive, we get it, but it's not as expensive. It's not that much more expensive than a regular GP visit. Plus, on top of that, these days, a GP can more or less prescribe the same things a dermatologist can. So your kid can find help just from a regular doctor's visit. My mom, when my sister was a teenager, my little sister, when she was a teenager, as soon as she started to pop those nasty pimples, my mom rushed her to a dermatologist, rushed her. And now her skin is perfectly clear. And she never got a bounce back. She never got a resurfacing, another attack of acne. She never got another one ever since then. She appears to have basically gotten out of that phase. So if my mom could rush my sister to the face hospital that quickly, the moment she picked up my sister's acne, it says a lot about what it is that she's doing to me right now. In other words, it says that this daughter of mine, I want her husband to knock on my door and say, can I please have your daughter's hand in marriage? I want men to like her. I want her to be pursued. I want her to be beautiful. I don't want her to be insecure. There was a time when my little sister fell down the stairs or something. I don't know what in the world happened. And she got cut. Here. Like there was a little bit of a wound on her forehead. During the time, I was using silicone scar strips on my cheeks for some scars there, right? And as soon as I found out about her incident, I went to her and I was like, seeing as your wound is new and fresh, as soon as it is no longer bleeding and ouchy, put these silicone strips on there so that it does not, so that your scar can heal and be as invisible as possible later on. Because all I could think about was the fact that it's a girl and Moyana should not be having scars on her face because people are very shallow in this world. And this was a woman acting that way towards somebody that is very disrespectful, someone that does not see much in her. Someone that she disregards entirely as a whole thriving soul, a human being that should be loved. I was able to give that kind of service to my little sister using my own silicone scar strips for her face because of the fact that I am in Christ, you guys. And so younger than me as she might be, my younger sister is younger than me by 17 years, 16 going on 17 years. It's quite the gap, okay, that exists between the two of us. So if at all I had married horribly, if at all I had ended up with a bad man, I would envy my little sister so much that I would low-key sit on the knowledge that I have about the power of silicone gel for the healing of scars. Even though I would have known what it can do for her, I would not have intervened in that regard because of my jealousy of a younger woman. Due to jealousy over a younger woman, the age gap between my younger sister and I is so big that it would be basically at that age where you start to afflict younger women. Like, you know how I told you that I had a boss when I was working at MTN that was 10 to 12 years older than me, and she sabotaged my career with witchcraft and all that jazz, and she sabotaged things like marriage prospects and whatnot, even though in and of herself she was married. So my younger sister is young enough for me to be a jealous freak against her. She's young enough for me to be a jealous freak against her, and yet I dedicated my own scar strips for her so she does not, at such a tender age, have just something across her face that's going to make some shallow dudes out in these streets struggle to pursue her properly. I was able to do that because I don't have a bitterness with a lack of love from men. I don't have a baby mama drama. I don't have this competitiveness within me against younger women because of the fact that men have not loved me properly, because I have been perfectly loved by a holy God. I have been perfectly loved by a holy God that has enabled me to perfectly wait on him for that which I ask for in prayer, so that I don't have to envy my children, so that I don't have to envy my much younger sisters, so that I do not have to envy other women to a point of oblivion and refusing to, for crying out loud, take a teenage girl to the dermatologist that is starting to show signs of cystic acne. And so therefore a future of permanent pitted scarring, permanent box scar scarring, rolling scars, permanent, you know what I mean? Like stuff that no derma roller is going to handle, because some people's faces just don't recover from acne scarring. There are people who can just bounce back easily, and I was one of them. By the amazing grace of God, the irresponsibility of my mother, God went before, eternally. He eternally went before. When I was a teenager, I wanted to go and see a dermatologist, but I didn't. My mom wouldn't take me because apparently it was too expensive. I wanted to see dentists, it was too expensive. I wanted to see orthodontist to fix my teeth braces. I ended up getting myself braces on my own teeth at the age of 23 when I could afford to when I was working, and they were on my teeth until I was 25. Everything I ever wanted to do, every doctor I ever wanted to see when I was a kid, I finally got to see those doctors when I was all grown up. My mother would not treat my acne when I was a teenage girl, but thankfully God made sure that I've got the kind of skin mentioned that even after your acne heals, it doesn't show. It doesn't show that you ever had any acne. Like, look at my forehead right now. There was a time when I was a teenager where my whole forehead was covered with pimples, and now it is so smooth and there is no scarring on there at all. There was a time when I had this big pimple here about 4 years ago that I wouldn't stop peeling and scratching and peeling and scratching over and over and over again and removing it, and it doesn't even look like I ever had anything on there at all. That is fortunately how my skin heals. That for me is evidence of the fact that the Lord went before. From eternity past, He prepared me for the kind of mother that I would have. Because He made an observation that she was making so many mistakes with her lives, that the day would come when she would inevitably covet her own child to a point of refusing to help her with one doctor's visit to get prescription medication that is going to last for so many months that really, frankly, if you spread it out, it would be something like 50 rands a month to make sure that this girl's skin stays clear. 50 bucks. She got, just like with my younger sister, she got convicted that my skin was messed up. It was really getting out of hand. How beautiful is my hair? But like goodness, I feel like this is the last one that I'm doing for the day. I've got so much matting that it takes me so long to do just one section. Anyway, yeah, she gained conviction that there was something messed up with my face. All right, I did already put this on, right? Did I? If not, I guess we'll put it on again. She got conviction that my skin was bad. Said that she would help me see a dermatologist, then made a decision, no, let's rather see a regular GP because it could get expensive to see a dermatologist, and then shut up and kept quiet about it. Said absolutely nothing. And watched me get more and more acne that is not getting cured. Nothing is removing it. I am still struggling. I'm suffering. And she's just sat back and watched this and told herself that that will be the solution to the threat of me getting loved again. The threat of me getting married. The threat of me being looked at by a man with favor. And run away, scared as a, what do you call this, shallow okie. She is messing with my glory. And there was a time when she had made an observation of my weight gain due to me sitting around and not working out. And she did not even highlight that. She did not even be like, what, no, now what's going on? Nothing. My mom used to speak about such things. If she would notice I'm gaining weight, she would mention it back in the day. Now this time around, she kept quiet during my weight gain until I started to lose it because I went back to exercise. All these things in my life that are falling apart, my mother is looking at them on some, it's a necessary evil, whatever it is, what it is, just take it. Yo, Joe. Sabotage, as in women that will watch you fall apart and do nothing. Say nothing. Why? Because they married wicked men. Because they are little Jezebels now. Thanks to having married Ahab. They have settled for men that don't love them, and the earth, it's written in God's word, cannot bear up under an unloved woman that gets married. Everybody is her victim. Do you understand? No one can have glory. No one can have a future. There is so much jealousy in them, especially towards other women, especially when these women are younger, that they will do nothing rational in the life of fellow females, insofar as they can get away with it, insofar as they can appear to have gotten away with it. How in the world are you intervening in your daughter's sickness when that's all that's left? I no longer have a cough, and yet I've got antibiotics. I was mistaken earlier. I said that she hasn't gotten my prescription. She decided to go much later on to go and get it. It's there, the prescription that the doctor gave me, and I'm going to tell you everything that the doctor himself said when I got to the doctor's office. The same thing that I told her early this morning. She heard me coughing the way that I was, because I was coughing out the last remnants of whatever was inside me. And then she said, fine, go to a doctor, see a doctor, and then said that she's gonna give me $600 because she did the research and found out that it's 600 rands after making a call to the Medicross. I then asked her, transfer 600, give me $70 more so that I can, I didn't even say 100, I said $70 more so that I can go to the pour petrol in my car to get to Yona Medicross thing, which is quite a distance from here. It's on the other side of Roodepoort, alright? And then she's like, no, I'd rather take my car. So instead of giving me 70 rands extra, she was prepared that I should use her car. With me having an expired driver's license, and so already the Metro Police could give a grief, and if I got into an accident, the insurance would not pay. But she was prepared to take that risk rather than give me a 70 rands extra. She then gives me the money. I go. I feel like this is the last section because, guys, look at the time. It's like 21:31. There is just so much matting up tops. Okay, let me just do this one as I talk. Maybe let me do these 2 rows. Let me hunker down and try and do these 2 rows. Anyway, whatever. She gives me the money. I go in her car. I go to the Medi-Cross. Finally, I get there. I had tried to go to the Intercare, but the Intercare was like 65 rands more expensive, and I couldn't go there. And I remember very sad I was in the car on some goodness. I could have just gone to a very close medical center. But I couldn't because they were only, like, literally, it's only 65 rands more expensive, and yet I didn't have 65 rands extra. That's like it, guys. Yazzie, my life, ne? Anyway, whatever. So, before I even went there, I went to her because I noticed that she was miserly. I was like, let me just go and get cough syrup because I ran out of that. And so what will finish this off is cough syrup because my cough is not that bad anymore. And I even coughed in front of her. I was like, there's not much left. I'm literally at the very end of this condition. She was like, no, go to the medical center. I was like, why are you insisting that I go to the medical center? That's just the thing. You've ignored my cold all this time. I've got all these interventions that I am using in order to conquer my cough. I'm already healthy. So my immune system kicked in a way that last time that you had the same condition that I have, it nearly put you in hospital. I only needed cough syrup. So now that you see that I'm getting well on my own, now only you want to take out money because I did not graduate to a point where it was near on fatal. Why are you doing this? Like, what are you trying to prove? It's like she was on a mission to prove some kind of a point. That she actually did take care of me during the time when I was sick. Because when she was sick, I was the one that was there all throughout. So she insisted that I drive all the way to the Medi-Cross when I didn't want to go. Especially considering I've got work to do. I've got edits to do. I've got ministry, work, right? These updates that I am busy working on all day. Like, that's what I got to do. Plus, today I wanted to go back to exercise. Because I was like, I can't wait for my chest to be fully cleared. Otherwise, I will end up just sitting around doing nothing. I'm not going to go back to exercise because I'm doing my hair. Here it is that I'm here. So I'm probably going to go back to exercise, God willing, tomorrow. Okay? Type thing, setup thing. So I would have skipped like a week and a bit of exercise. Alright? She then insisted I go to the Medi-Cross, so I go. And when I am driving, so I told her that I don't need to go there. So I get there. I pay straight away, blah, blah. My information is no longer on the system because records were removed because I have not been sick in a very long time. I've not needed to see doctors in a very long time. Except for now. I wish I had not let my hair get this matted. Anyhow, I finally get seen by... It was so miraculous how this happened. The lady who was helping me at the Medi-Cross was like, so you don't have an appointment? I'm like, yeah, I don't have an appointment. Okay. Any doctor in particular you want to see? I was like, no, I have not been here in a very long time. I don't know the difference between them all. Just anybody will do. Right? And then she was like, how about this particular doctor? I was like, okay, whatever. And then she was like, nah, he's got 2 other people that are waiting for him right now. So I'll rather put you with this doctor. So I go into a medical center with no appointment. God knows I can't stand queuing. He knows I cannot stand queuing. He knows my biggest qualm, frankly, with even public hospitals and stuff like that, are the long queues only for you to get like barely any relevant service at all. So here it is that I'm there and this lady is like, nah, it's okay, right? So today was Tuesday and by the time I went there was around 1300 hours, right? It was around 1 p.m. in the... I get there. She then says, let me send you to this doctor. Doesn't work out. And then she's like, no, he's got 2 other people waiting for him. So rather let me put you with this doctor. I have never in my life gone to a medical center without an appointment. And not even with an appointment, and not had to wait even at all. Like, not even at all. Like, usually, especially when you don't have an appointment, they will make you wait a good 45 minutes to an hour before you will see anybody. So, finally, when they were ready, like, I was told to sit down and wait for the doctor at door number 4, or whatever. I was expecting to wait there for like half an hour, maybe an hour. Like, I was wearing these kwais. Alright, not quite, but shoes that you can hear go on the floor. They're flats, but like with a heel type thing, like pumps. I was wearing pumps. And I'm like, go. And then I sit down, right? As soon as I sit down, it's like this doctor heard go. My kwais opened the door and was like, Karabo. I was like, whoa, like immediately. I got seen immediately. Such that like people that I found there were sitting waiting for their turn. For their consultation. They were sitting waiting to be seen by their doctors. And I went in before any of them. So that for me was the first thing. I was like, oh, thank you, God. You know I can't stand queues. And I was not even trying to come here because I'm not even sick. I'm not sick, but I'm being insisted, I'm being bossed around that I must come here, and I'm given just enough money and not even enough money to get my prescription. I'm like a child. Like right now, that's how my mom is treating me. You go to the doctor, you bring me prescription, I go to the store and I buy the prescription for you. Whoa. Like, I won't even give you a cent more than what you need. She actually did transfer $50 more just in case there was a need for it. So she transferred $650. So that's also what made me mad about Intercare. Because if it was $650, I would have just spent all that $650 and like seen this doctor, gotten antibiotics. Because my mom was like, you need to go and get antibiotics. Go and get antibiotics in particular. No injection, nothing, just antibiotics, because that's what's going to cure you. So I was like, I don't need antibiotics. I'm not coughing anymore, but fine, I'll go because you insist. And really and truly at this point, the coercion, fine, I'll go. I get there, walk inside this doctor's office. First of all, he's like, Karabo. I'm like, yeah. I hop in there like a kangaroo, as bubbly as I am. Okay, so nothing of me detected by this doctor as this is a patient for days. So the doctor's like, okay, so what's up? What's wrong? And I tell the doctor, well, I've got a little bit of a cough. And then I look to the side and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what it sounds like. Like, I literally coughed. It was still kind of phlegmy in the morning, so it sounded better than what's going on now to convince a doctor to give me antibiotics. Okay. I was like in front of the doctor, but looking to the side so I don't spray his face, type establishment thing. He's like, yeah, that's what I'm here about, and I think I need antibiotics. I basically told the doctor, I think I need antibiotics. Okay, I'm here for antibiotics. That's what I said, and he laughed, on some antibiotics. Okay, and then he told me to go and sit on some like a bed thing, where they test you and they put like that funny thing to hear your heartbeat. What is it called? A stethoscope, angas, whatever. Yeah, where they basically do like a test to also check how I'm breathing, blah, blah, all that jazz. And as I'm sitting there, the doctor is like, the thing about a cough sometimes is that it can last for like 3 months. A cough can last like an entire 3 months with you being okay. Like, you're okay. You're just basically finishing, taking out what's in your system. So the cough that you presently have, I explained to him that I took cough syrup and whatnot, and he was like, do you have a sore throat? I was like, I used to, but it's all gone. Are you nasally? I used to, but it's all gone. Like, I'm not, blowing my nose as much anymore. I feel like I'm basically okay, but I even told him, I was like, my mom is the one that insisted that I come here. Because she thought that it could be COVID or something. And he was like, well, I could test for COVID, but I've tested so far 6 patients for COVID and all of them came back positive. But all of them looked a lot worse than you, type thing. He was basically trying to say to me, you kind of sound like you're okay. Like you're gonna recover, because there are some people who have a cough that will continue for 3 months even though they're not sick anymore. They don't have to take cough mixture. Their system is just getting rid of that, but they are healed. There is no infection. It's just their lungs clearing, and it can take up to 3 months with some people for phlegm to clear out of the chest. And I know that that's true because I've had one such cough in my life before that lasted what appeared to be months. Okay, very well. So I was like, yeah, and he's like, so I could give you antibiotics, but in order for me to give you antibiotics, I'd need to figure out what kind of virus it is that we're dealing with over here, because they may or may not work, but at the same time, if you're okay, there might not be a point. And I basically was waiting for this doctor to be like, you probably don't need them, but that's the thing about doctors. He heard that I had a cough and I have a concern, so I guess I can't leave without a prescription. So he made a decision to rather focus on the real issue that was in the room, and that was my skin. Can you believe it? He made a decision to focus on the real issue, because I was not a patient that was there for COVID-19, bronchitis, tuberculosis, pneumonia, or any other kind of variation of a cough. I was a patient that had a skin condition. So he was a regular GP. Do you understand what I'm saying? And once he listened to my chest and realized that I wasn't even breathing heavy or anything of that nature, he was like, so what are you doing for your skin? Regular GP, not a doctor. Sorry, not a dermatologist. And I was like, at that point, whoa, it's the second time I have gone somewhere looking for something else, and somebody has asked me, what are you doing for your skin? So essentially, my skin is so bad that everybody's noticing that I've got a problem with my skin. And people that I live with are walking right by it. The Chinatown I went to, one lady recommended a product. The Dis-Chem I went to, one lady recommended hormone tablets. And now I go to a doctor's office for a cough and he asks me, what are you doing for your skin? What I'm trying to explain to you guys is that if at all my mother and my father do not care for me, the Lord will take on my cause. If your mom and your dad don't care for your acne, the Lord will make your doctor care. The Lord will make some consultant at Dis-Chem care. The Lord will make some employee at a China shop care. And the things they will recommend that you should get as a prescription will be exactly what you've been asking the Lord Jesus Christ from on high. Let's move to the next part.